Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give in this arbitration is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I just go.
As you say.
I do.
Congratulations!
Oh, okay.
That was what I was thinking.
Upon receiving the folder, which contents I cannot exactly ensure, my goal for this committee has always been to ensure a pacifist resolution to this conflict. So, upon processing this information, I advocated for the best solution for this committee to avoid conflict and ensure our goals. So, what was in this content does not matter. What does matter is that I advocated for my ideas, and we reached a resolution that I voted on and signed on that I think accomplished what we needed to do. Thank you.
Can they actually say what
So you will have Q&A after this. We'll have
In the contents of the envelope that I cannot disclose to committee, I assure you that there is nothing that goes against the drive of comparison. As one of the co-founders of this organization, my sole intention throughout this entire committee and conference has been to push forward our agenda to support women as they grow into leaders and working citizens with the full rights that they deserve. The contents of the envelope simply motivated our causes and pushed forward everything that we have been working towards. I hope that you call on my record within this committee of pushing forward directives, of acting with the sole purpose of women in mind, and doing everything that I have in my power to move forward the cause of women. Thank you.
All right, Sean, do you affirm the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. What's your heart?
Oh my god, now it's getting
Oh,
cold.
it's the time.
All right, delegates. This entire committee, I've done nothing but help all of you support the progress of women as a whole in state. I do not think that the contents of this envelope matter at all to any of you. It was really just a personal quarrel, and I do not think that the contents should really determine my status in this committee as a whole. We need to move past this and work on the true issues at hand, which face other members of this committee, and not focus on us three up here. As we go forward, please do not worry about the contents of this envelope. They are not as significant as you think. We need to focus on addressing the issues with the spies and the true issues at hand today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will now enter into, what did we say, 4 minutes of Q&A? All right, so you can feel free to begin your interrogation.
When are they created? 4 minutes total or per delegate?
We will, no, it's definitely not. We will only time the answers though, but keep your questions to one question and not speech.
Can you expand on the context of the envelope are not pertinent to?
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned this before, but it's completely top secret and we're not allowed to disclose this information for our own safety. But just to reiterate our point, we committed ourselves to furthering the goals of this committee through pacifism, through just a collective effort of empowering women in state. So I don't think that just this one envelope and just the secrecy of the envelope itself should discredit anything we've done in committee as a whole.
And since you asked what's not in the envelope, I can assure you what was not in the envelope was anything related to forces within Spain.
Wait, so it was committee? No, but let's clarify that. Right? You did not say that. Exactly. Delegate's mouth. He was just saying that the contents of the envelope were not. Oh yeah.
All right, next question. Delgado.
If these contents really have nothing to do with the new hire slave race, and we are like a sister community, we would not put
think you're
your
gonna make a
safety
lot
in
of
jeopardy
news,
if that's what you're claiming
It's
this
for my
would
own
do.
viewing pleasure.
And if you really want the best for this committee, you would come forward to your sisters and tell us what was in those envelopes so we can ensure your safety if that is what is at risk. Or number two, you're guilty and you're just trying to cover it up.
Respectfully, ma'am, if you had our best interests at heart, you would know that we have weighed the pros and cons of sharing this information for the best of us and the safety. And if this committee did have trust in the three of us through all of our benevolent action towards this committee, then you would have trust that we would not share anything that would hurt this committee.
And also, it's not up to us. We were instructed not to share the contents of the envelope, and that instruction has not changed. So it's not under our jurisdiction to share that information.
Senator Pedro?
So you three are all the founders of this organization, obviously, and throughout committee, you've all been advocating for transparency within our organization. But do you three think that as founders, you're above transparency with our organization? Do you think that as founders, you're somehow above us common women?
Yeah, so just to reiterate what we said before, we're not saying that we're going to be untransparent with regards to what we're doing in committee. This was simply an instruction given to us not to share with the rest of the committee. So I think that it's our duty to not share that information, but still remain transparent in everything that we do in committee as we have for the past 2 days.
It's completely against the mission of New Harris Libres to have a hierarchical system or power. And as founders, we do see ourselves as equal to each and every member of our organization. It just simply happens that the three of us were given manila envelopes.
Thank you. Sanchez?
Has the information of these envelopes motivated you to create any, like, drive you to make any of the directives presented yesterday or the day before?
I think it certainly did influence our decisions to advance Mujeres Libres for the best of what we can do with that information. But I wouldn't say we created anything, very malicious or out of the ordinary from the information.
It only drives me to free the mother and to push forward women's rights.
How much time is left? I have 2 minutes. Bad guess.
Many times in history, leaders have been told not to share information in order to keep people safe, but it has always led to people being murdered or people losing their lives. So I would like to know, why can't you break this jurisdiction? You were just told instructions. That doesn't mean you cannot be a whistleblower. If anything, if you were our sisters, if you were ready to stand up next to us, you would reveal this information. You say that you don't want a hierarchy, but unfortunately, when you place restrictions on the access of information that other sisters have, you have placed yourself in a hierarchy. And I will not put up with this as an anarchist syndicalist.
Keep your question to a question.
So the question is, reveal the information, can you?
I think you mentioned that, it is just the instruction of the outroom, but hypothetically, in this folder, there could have been instruction that was telling us why we can't say this information. And also, if there was any information that we think shouldn't have been shared, then we would have used our best judgment to not share that.
Could this lack of transparency be because you're pushing your own motives possibly? You seem to deflect a lot during your statements.
We're simply following the instructions given to us, which was to not share the information. That's our final answer.
Censor them. Remove their power to send
Question of
directives.
clarification. I know you all received the same type of envelope. Have you all
They will be
discussed this
censored
with each other, and do you
until
all
they reveal
know
the
what
information.
contents were?
Getting them out is gonna
Could have been
send back to
instructed in the
us.
envelope that they were the same, and we used our best judgment
And they can try to murder us.
consider what the others would have reached, and I think through our statements, we do concur that they had similar materials.
Okay.
We have not discussed among each other
Okay.
for clarification.
Asking the chairs or we asking?
I think that's you.
Yeah, we have not discussed.
for trial. Educated.
There's an age-old saying, secrets are no fun unless you share them with everyone. You can tell that the consequence of not sharing this action is a pretty ticked-off committee. What do you think that the potential, you can't say what's in the envelope, can you say the consequences should you reveal or whistleblow what this, and how damaging would it be to leak this said information?
Yeah, we're not sure exactly what the consequences would be because they're not specified, but I can assume the worst. And I think in this type of situation, the best course of action going forward is not to focus on what we can reveal, but on what we should do this coming committee session and with our committee coming directives on how to actually find the true perpetrators and essentially clear our names.
I'm 100% willing to share the information from my envelope because as a co-founder, I believe that this is what our committee is meant for. We're meant to work together. However, there are two rival women's groups on the rise from a recent crisis update. Why don't we refocus our attention on those and continue to fight for Mujeres Libres before someone else takes our position as a leading women's group?
Okay. Yeah.
How are we supposed to fight against other women's groups when there's dissent and distrust within our own group?
I think that the dissent and distrust that is being produced in this committee is not exactly at the fault of ours. I mean, we did not put ourselves at trial, and as the founders, we have continued to show that we are in solidarity with this committee. We have proved that through directives, and we think that we can go strongly if we just move on from this issue.
All right, great trial. Oh, don't sit down yet because we have a closing statement.
Okay. Is it 1 minute?
Yes.
Okay. Fellow delegates, as they were having their introductive addresses, specifically Gascon and Saranil did not mention women's empowerment at all during their address. So this comes to the question of how loyal are they to our movement? I know Gascon has been working on pacifism and healthcare, but during these times when there's distrust within the community through our organization, it is unclear if pacifism is the best thing to do. So overall, they would say transparency and the best solution is not effective. We need to get this information out into the public, at least to the other members. So I feel like Como Posada had the best justifications of being allowed to share this information. Thank you.
Thank you.